shit up, Trace.
All right, welcome back, Chiefs Studios. My name is Taylor Bell. I appreciate you for joining us today. I have a player profile for everybody in the Kansas City Chiefs franchise. We're going to highlight a few players here throughout the preseason, basically, just to get back in the groove and also let time pass because, as we know, preseason can be pretty boring. However, thank goodness head coach Andy Reid does play it does play starters. However, it is not often, but he does give them a few snaps. Right, most newer NFL head coaches are on the no play your starters train. But Kansas City Chiefs, in fact, we just got word that Patrick Mahomes will play a series to start the game this upcoming preseason game. Preseason game 1, Mahomes will start. But there's one player I wanted to highlight. I wanted to keep an eye on. One player that has caught my attention. I think it's a fantastic story. And who is that player? That player is Rees-Zammit. Rees-Zammit. He is from the United Kingdom. He is a rugby player. He is 23 years old. Kansas City Chiefs signed him this season, this offseason. Now, he's actually, we'll get into his highlights and his athletic ability, which is insane. But player profile, 6'2", 209 pounds, clocked. Ran the 40, what was it? 3.43 in the 40 officially. However, in an interview, which I think we have here, we got some clips. He's actually been clocked. He said that was a bad day for him. He said he's been clocked at 4.29 and 4.31 in the 40, which would automatically put him in the probably top 5 fastest NFL players in the NFL. And this guy is a white guy. So he's got the burners. And you'll see in these highlights, he is insane. He's the fastest player on the field, flat out. When you see these rugby highlights, fastest player on the field. No doubt about it. They've also clocked him at 25 miles per hour on the rugby field, which I believe ties him for the fastest ever clocked in an NFL game. So he's got the speed, he's got the size. They are going to play him at running back position. Now, I think special teams is going to be key for him. Making the team via special teams, right, with the new kickoff rules. I think that's part of the reason why Kansas City signed him to this contract. Was the new kickoff rules. Kind of rugby style. Obviously not really, but kind of. If you catch the drift. If you've seen the new kickoff rules, they're real bunched up together. Kind of similar to, it's similar but not similar if you get what I mean. But and he actually can kick, right? And so in rugby, you do pass. You do run. You get the laterals. You get the open field breaking speed. You get tackling and kicking. So he's been in practice kicking the ball on kickoffs. He's been in practice receiving the ball on kickoffs. He's been at Chiefs practice at running back position. Now I'm currently reaching out to a few different rugby coaches and/or rugby channels here on YouTube to basically get an interview with him, right, and discuss how his game can translate to the NFL, right? His dream was to play in the NFL, so I think he got a fantastic opportunity. Now let's jump in and we'll get into the highlights, but let's get into, so the NFL has a new program called the International Player Pathway, IPP program. International Player Pathway. It has several rules for how each team assigns players. Now, the NFL wants to expand, right? They're putting more games internationally. Chiefs famously played in Germany last year. I believe they have a game in Mexico this year, I believe. Shame on me, I should know that. But they're starting to expand, right? This is just another way to get eyes on the NFL internationally, right? So he's from Wales, from England. Automatically, he's essentially the best player and or one of the best players in all of rugby, professional rugby. This will get eyes on the NFL internationally, right? Sell jerseys, watch these games. So it not only helps the team because they get a fantastic player. Now, I doubt he's going to get a lot of playing time this year, but I believe he's going to get a lot of playing time in this preseason, right? But this international player pathway, let me show you. So eligibility. There's a few rules to this international player pathway that the NFL has set up. Players must be 24 years or younger. So they can't be 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. These got to be relatively young guys, right? Because especially when they're young, as we know, the American football style is not really played internationally. So there's a bonus for there's a few advantages for putting a cap on how old the player is that these teams sign. Being young, however, he has played rugby his whole life. You can still mold him to play American football, right? There's certain footwork tendencies that you can still mold him into an American football player. I think it's harder when they are older, right? So they must also be citizens of countries excluding the United States or Canada. And have a maximum of 2 years of high school experience and meet all NFL player eligibility rules. Additionally, they must have eligibility for previous NFL draft and be able to speak English. Roster regulations. Teams that participate in the International Player Pathway program are allowed one more player on their off-season rosters than teams that don't. Each season, NFL division is selected at random to participate in the program. Obviously, Kansas City was selected, and they selected Rees-Zammit. Selected athletes participate in a 10-week training program at IMG Academy in Florida, where they eat, drink, live, sleep football. In March, they have the opportunity to showcase their skills to NFL clubs. So essentially, once they get invited to this NFL camp in Florida, for 10 weeks, eat, sleep, drink, football. They work on footwork, pass blocking, catching the ball, special teams, run them through drills, get them ready, and then after the 10 weeks is up, essentially have like a showcase where they can showcase their skills to the other NFL teams. The IPP program, International Player Program, was established in 2017 to help elite international athletes improve their skills and earn a spot on NFL rosters. As of March 2018, 18 former IPP participants were either on an active roster or on a practice squad or signed to a reserve/futures contract. Now, digging a little deeper, I was like, well, what if he doesn't make the team, right? I think he will, but what if he doesn't? So these players, when they put on, let's say he doesn't make the active roster, but they play him, the Chiefs put him on the practice squad, right? As you know, traditional practice squad players can get picked up by other teams. Now, these special IPP program players, I believe, from what I've looked into, have to remain with the team that selected them. So even if he doesn't make the roster, he'll be on the practice squad, practice with them, travel with them, just won't play in the games. But he can feel safe knowing that he'll be with Kansas City and potentially make the team next year. Now, something I did not have. Let me let me pull up his contract because it's a decent contract. I don't think it's league minimum, but let's check it out real quick. So, Rees-Zammit signed a 3-year, $2.85 million contract with the Chiefs, including a $20,000 signing bonus, $250,000 guaranteed, and an average annual salary of $950,000 per year. Okay, so I'm going to shut up. Let's watch these highlights. Now, I have no idea. I've never played rugby, never watched rugby. I mean, I've seen it here and there, but never sat down and watched a game. Pretty interesting. But as soon as you watch these highlights, he jumps off of the screen. I mean, just insane athleticism. I'm going to shut up and let's watch these highlights, okay?
Best attributes of my speed was my best attribute in rugby, and that definitely translates to the NFL.
Got the ball right there. Boom. Peace. Translate to the NFL right there. That will translate to the NFL. Got hands. Look at that. Look at that speed. And he kicks it. I didn't know you could do that. Kick it into the end zone, and then you catch it. What the hell is that all about? That's cool. I like it. I love it. But I've never seen that before. Now look at that. You got to kick it. That takes athleticism. How do you know you're going to kick it right in the end zone? And then catch it. I mean, that is insane. They're kicking it again. Holy crap. Wow. Hey, thought about tossing it back. He's like, you know what? Let me just take this. Remember, he's, 6'2", 210 pounds. Essentially runs at 4.340, 25 miles per hour. So he's got the speed. He's got the size. I don't see how this could not translate to the NFL. But look at that. Blows by everybody. 23 years old. Wearing the Michael Jordan number. Watch this. See ya. Wow. Look at that. Pick 6. Y'all saw that? Crap. Where was I? All right, here we go. Check this out. You saw that pick 6? I don't know what they call it. It's pick 6 to me. Look at that. in the open field, if the Chiefs, if they can get him in the open field, he's going to turn on the afterburners. That's going to be the key, getting him in the open field. So obviously you have probably the best play caller and or designer in history, right? With Andy Reid, I bet they're leaking at the chops to get him in the open field, right? He's going to be one of the fastest players in the league. I mean, it's just facts. And then you're going to have the fastest player to ever run the 40, right, in the combine, and Worthy. And then you got Hollywood Brown. You can turn on the afterburners. Rashee Rice, good size and pretty fast for being a big receiver. Justin Ross, we'll see if he makes the team. Look, Pacheco, right? What if you line him and Pacheco up in the backfield? And then you got Worthy, Rice, and Hollywood Brown, right? On the, and obviously Kelsey. I mean, I think they can get him in the open field. You can scheme certain ways. Look, Worthy can blow the top off of these defenses. If you get Rees-Zammit in the open field, you're going to be gaining major yards. Hey, look at that. Wow. Insane, man. I love watching this stuff. And I don't even like rugby. Look at that. It kicked the ball over the dude. Pick 6. Field. He's got the footwork, right? What the hell happened? Well, I guess that was the end of the video. Was it? That was the end of the video script. You can tell that, my God, he's got the speed. He's got the footwork. That's the thing with burners, with fast guys, like with Worthy. I think they're pretty quick coming out of the breaks as far and or changing directions and routes. But I think changing directions at top speed or when you're in stride is very hard. Kind of like what Tyreek Hill does. His footwork kind of look, nobody is as good as Tyreek Hill. How he's so quick and elusive and can actually change directions at top speed. I don't think Worthy can change directions as fast as Tyreek Hill, obviously. But I think this guy, Rees-Zammit, it looks like he's got that skill where you can switch gears, you can switch directions at top speed. You see him make guys miss left and right, breaking ankles on the field. Let's get into, let me share an interview.
Hey guys. What's been the biggest learning curve so far?
I think it's just learning all the plays. So different to what I'm used to. Obviously in rugby you don't have to learn as much, but I think physically, I think I'm in good shape. I think rugby really prepared me for this, with the conditioning, just being in physical shape. I think the biggest difference is just mental, just staying on top of things, staying on top of the playbook, and making no mistakes.
Well, just remind me, before the pathway really started, I think
there were days when you practiced in pads, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How many of those days did you have, and what were you trying to get the most out of before obviously transitioning to being on the pads in an NFL game?
Yeah, so with the International Player Pathway, we were in there for about 2 months, pads and helmet. So I was just trying to get used to it, to be honest. Obviously, never training with pads and a helmet is quite unusual, but that really prepped me to be able to come in here and kind of get the ball rolling straight away, not having to get used to the pads and the helmet. So yeah, I was pretty prepared for that.
How are you as far as comfort level when it comes to lining up and waiting for beginning the play and so on and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, I'm non-stop trying to learn this playbook because, as soon as I can start, not having to think about playing and just playing fast, that's the biggest thing for me.
How many hours are you spending on it? Just to...
I mean, we don't finish meetings until 8 p.m. and I probably go to bed at 10 p.m. so an extra 2 hours just learning the plays. Because I'm playing catch up with a lot of people that have played American football since they were little kids, 6 years old. So there's no time to rest for me. I've got to give this my all because ultimately this is my dream, and to make it come true, then I've got to play. I've got to be a step ahead of a lot of people.
What's a successful season look like for you this year, just your rookie season? What's that going to look like at the end for you to look back on and call it success?
I mean, the first goal is to make the team. I know special teams is going to be massive for me. Been working really hard on that with Coach Tobes and Coach Hill, and just learning the playbook. As I said, learning the running back roles, being able to learn pass protection, and then learning my routes off that. I think all of it adds up, and the main way I'm going to make this team is by learning pass protection and be able to be a key role on special teams.
And how has the team rallied around you? You talked about you're learning the playbook, you're doing all this. How have they rallied around you and helped you? Or is there anyone specific maybe that has helped you?
I mean, everyone's been so helpful. All the running back room, we're a very tight-knit group. We're all trying to push each other, challenge each other every day. And we're all behind each other, especially, quarterbacks are very helpful. The likes of Pat, Carson, Ian and Chris, everyone's so helpful in trying to, especially me, a new guy coming in and not really knowing much about a playbook, trying to, allow me to learn, give me time, but at the same time pushing me as hard as I can because, I need to try and learn this quick because there's not much time. Training camp's only, 2 months. So I've got to learn it as quick as I can and just give it my best effort.
Lucas, if I can, about being in pads for the first time.
Yeah.
Is there a difference in terms of how you have to run, the running style, or just the overall difference between rugby? Just what was that experience, I guess, like? Is there a key difference that you had to figure out even before joining the team?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is pad level. Not standing upright, allowing the defense to give an easy push on you. Dropping your body height, bracing for tackles. Everything's completely different. So I mean, it's a completely different sport. So I'm trying to learn as much as I can, and try and bring what I've got already in rugby to the American football side of it, and just give it my all.
How are you anticipating in kind of your first pad in practice, your first preseason game, even getting to a regular season game, as far as getting that first contact and kind of experience?
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait to see the difference. I get that question all the time. What's harder, hitting rugby or American football? But we'll soon find out. It's going to be fun. I've played a contact sport since I was 12 years old. We started contact in rugby, and that's bone on bone. But we'll see what it's like when we come to pads.
And we kind of obsess over here about metrics. It's all about the combine and your numbers.
Yeah.
I know you did like a international pathway testing, and I think you ran like a 4.43. Did you do any prep for that? Do you feel like that's accurate of you, or?
No, I was running way quicker than that. I didn't have a great day there, but ultimately it got me the opportunity to come here. I was running high 4.2s, low 4.3s, and it came to it.
Jesus.
I just couldn't get my legs going, to be honest. But
He'll be one of the fastest players in the league.
I didn't get too down about that. I had opportunities elsewhere, and this was the place I wanted to be, especially with the coaching staff and the players I've got.
Lewis, on Sunday, I think you get your first taste of Chiefs Kingdom with the fans
Yes,
coming out here. What do you know about Chiefs Kingdom? What are your expectations? What are you hoping to see us?
Oh, I know they're crazy for the Chiefs. I've been in teams that have had massive support, and that's always what I want to be a part of. These fans are incredible. Unfortunately, I haven't been to Arrowhead to watch a game, but I've heard, how good it is, how loud the fans are, how obsessed they are with the team, and obviously winning helps that, and we're going to continue to try and do that this year.
Speaking of rugby, I know Patrick said he brought a TV for only 2 reasons, and one of those is the Olympics. I mean, how are you going to feel to support your guys, as they go through the process?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. The Olympics is obviously massive back home, especially. But yeah, a lot of it is sevens. So there's rugby union, which is 15s, and then sevens, which is played in the Olympics. And it's an exciting sport. I mean, those boys they're pretty quick and pretty agile. So hopefully I can get a little tip or two off them.
When was the last time you were in a dorm?
So I went to school back home at 16, and then we go to like a college at 16 to 18 before university. So between the ages of 16 and 18, I was staying in dorms away from my family, about an hour and a half. So I mean, I'm pretty used to dorms. They're pretty nice here. We get our own rooms. We just share bathrooms and stuff. So I'm used to it. So.
Louis, you talked about your learning curve. Is there anything maybe that you're proud of yourself that you're picking up, whether it's in the backfield or running routes? Is there something that you're kind of like, you feel like you're getting something?
Yeah, I mean, the playbook, the coaches are helping me massively on trying to pick that up as quick as possible. I know pass protection is massive. I've never done that before coming here. So it's just trying to pick up things as quick as possible. Really dive into the playbook and learn not just my role, but try and learn concepts as well. From the receivers, ever in case they want me to jump in there, then I can do a job. So just trying to learn as much as possible, and credit to the coaches, they've been very helpful with me.
Louis, they were calling you Rees Lightning online. What are your thoughts on that nickname?
I mean, I like it. I've ran pretty quick in my time in rugby, so it's time to see if I can replicate that in the NFL.
And Louis, you mentioned special teams. Dave Coe's been pretty creative in the past. Obviously, you can do a lot of things. Whether it's lateral. I mean, have you gotten a glimpse of what they might have planned for you? Do you think it's going to be pretty imaginative? If you get out there?
I mean, no one's obviously this kickoff rules are new, so no one knows what's going to come. So we have got some creative plays. Obviously, not to mention now, but hopefully you'll see them in the first pre-season games. But yeah, Coach Toes and Coach Hill are very creative people. So I'm just giving it my all on the field and trying to be the best player possible, the best person possible for the team.
Would that be fun?
Yeah.
Let's go last two.
It's going to be fun.
Just a question for you, just kind of outside of football. How is your time in Missouri, your time in Kansas City, your time in St. Joseph? Just are you enjoying it? How's your lifestyle now?
Yeah, I mean, this was my dream from a little boy to be able to play in the NFL, join a team, and join a team like this is incredible. I'm incredibly proud of myself and proud of the journey I've been on. But yeah, Missouri, Kansas City. I'm loving living there. It's a great place. When you go outside, you get fans coming up to you, and it's always great to be able to be noticed. And I want to play a part in this team, and the way I'm going to do that is obviously through training camp, show the capabilities that I can do, and go from there and see what the coaches think of me.
Last one, Adam.
Your first practice game is about 3 weeks away. What's that event going to be like suiting it up for real down in Florida?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I've played in front of big crowds, so I don't think the occasion's going to get to me. But obviously it's going to be a proud day for myself and my family if I get on the field. And then it's just about showing what I can do. Every time I get the ball in my hands, being able to be a difference maker, and just being able to help the team as much as I can. And I'm very excited for that day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
All right. And there you have it. Rees-Zammit, your newest Kansas City Chief player. Hopefully he has a good year. Look, I'm really rooting for him. I think he's could be an absolutely explosive player. His hardest thing, he said it, right? The hardest thing for him is going to be learning the playbook. I think the skills, he's got all the physical attributes of an NFL player. He just needs to mold them. Coaches obviously working with him very closely. I think he seems very smart. He's got as I mentioned, the athletic ability. For him, playing time is obviously going to be crucial. And the biggest key for him making this team, learning that playbook, learning each and every play. Pass blocking physically is probably going to be the hardest thing for him to learn. absolutely does not translate to rugby. The only thing that really translates to rugby from watching those highlights is when you have the ball in your hand and away you go, right? Blocking, a huge factor that he's going to have to pick up. Obviously, the playbook, as we mentioned, and then learning to be learning where you need to be on the field during plays, before plays, all that stuff. And I'm sure they're going to help him out with all that. And like as I mentioned, he seems pretty smart, so seems like he's got a high IQ. So mistakes expected to happen. Just try not to make the same mistakes twice, and I think he'll be fine. Will he make the team? I'm going to say yes, but that's on a hopeful wish. Look, even if he does not make the team and he's on the practice squad, you sign him to a 3-year deal. So he's going to essentially be with the team for 3 years. So if he doesn't get a lot of playing time this year, which I doubt he will, they'll have some clever packages. I'm sure he'll get in a few plays. He might. The most playing time he's going to see is probably going to be on special teams, whether he's kicking the ball off, whether he's receiving the ball. He'll be on the field for special teams. I can almost guarantee it. But regular plays, snap 1 through 3, I'm not sure how much he's going to play. As I mentioned, I believe Andy Reid has got some kind of packages in there for him, right? Maybe just toss it out as for a sweep, or throw it to Kelsey, and then have Kelsey lateral it to him, rugby style, and let him take off. So, look, the sky's the limit for this kid. I really think high of him. I think he's a really good kid. Just personally and professionally and athletically, phenomenal athlete. So I'm rooting for him. I'm actually thinking of buying a jersey of his, and so I'm a big fan, big supporter. So stay tuned at Chiefs Studios. We're gonna have more player profiles from all of your favorite Chiefs players, kind of profile players that maybe we're not so familiar with, right? Like if I do a player profile of Mahomes, everybody knows Mahomes, everybody knows Kelsey. So I kind of want to highlight players that you may not be that familiar with. Maybe do one on Xavier Worthy next, their first round pick. But we'll see. I should have a new one every week. So just to get you a little more familiar with some of these Chiefs players. But stay tuned. Chiefs Studios, do appreciate the time. Make sure you subscribe to the Chiefs Studios channel. And don't forget our Chiefs Studios podcast, our new Chiefs Studios podcast. I'll put the link in the description. You can catch us on all podcast platforms. Wherever you get your podcasts, just search Chiefs Studios and we shall pop up. Peace out.